Welcome to Fremont, Indiana for the Code Red 200, the final race before the Season 8 chase. Plenty of drivers have their chance to win their way into the playoffs via a wild card. Many drivers outside the top 10 that are not in the chase have wins, but only one, and they tie for those two wild card positions. Now we're going to check out the point situation as it is. Top 10 in points is Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kenseth, Dale Jr., Joey Logano. They all have decent-sized leads above 11th place, Martin Truex Jr. Keselowski is only 16th points above, and Kyle Busch, Carter Edelman, and others are lower. The wild cards, Carl Edwards and Kurt Busch, both have one win, and then Truex is just 1 point away from 10th place. Austin Dillon, 13 points out, and Jimmie Johnson, 18 points out. Bane, Kane, Harvey, McMurray, and Erik Jones all basically have to win and in. They are too far away in the points position. Chase Elliott has been struggling as of late. Last week, he crashed out on lap 1 of the race. Martin Truex Jr. has been falling as well during the summer months. And then Kasey Kahne, he got the win at Mobile, but since then, he hasn't done much to help him in the points situation. And Erik Jones got the win at Riverhead. He can win today and move himself into the playoffs. Jimmie Johnson has had an abysmal season compared to his standards. And then Kurt Busch, he's been really good this year, but finds himself just outside the playoffs. If he gets a win, he's in. And then Carl Edwards, he's really close to falling out. He's got the wild card. Can he get into the chase and use that win to his advantage? And then the command has been said, the engines are fired, and the cars are rolling off here in Fremont for 10 laps. Now check out the Code Red starting lineup. Starting first today, Chase Elliott in a clutch situation next to Kyle Larson. Martin Truex Jr. and Kasey Kahne are in row 2, and Erik Jones, who needs a win today, next to Jimmie Johnson. Row 4 is Kurt Busch and Trevor Bayne. And in row 5, Jamie McMurray and Joey Logano. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Carl Edmond are row 6. And in row 7, we have Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch. In row 8, Austin Dillon and Matt Kenseth. And in row 9, we have Ty Dillon, who's been hot as of late, next to Bryce Harvey. Denny Hamlin and Chris Buescher are in row 10. And in row 11, we have Clint Bowyer and Ryan Blaney. Brad Keselowski and Aric Almirola in row 12, and Kevin Harvick and Carter Edelman in row 13. In row 14, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. next to AJ Allmendinger. Paul Menard and Ryan Newman are in row 15, and in row 16, we have Danica Patrick and Landon Castle. Row 17, Brian Scott and Cam DeLuca, Matt DiBenedetto and Logan McDaniel in row 18. They're on the field, and last is Jimmy Alanya. The green flag is in the air for the regular season finale. Chase Elliott gets initial bad restart to this race, and he gets turned around by Erik Jones. Erik Jones up into the wall. Chase Elliott to the inside wall. Jimmie Johnson involved as well. Chase Elliott gets wrecked in turn 1 due to a poor start to this race. Watch as Erik Jones, looks like Elliott's trying to get it going here. Maybe he cut down in front of Erik Jones. Maybe Erik Jones came up on him. Let's see it again. Looks like Erik Jones may have missed the corner just a tad and got into him. Maybe a combination of both Chase and Erik messing up. Chase Elliott can only hope for somebody else to screw up today to make the chase now, as he just fell out of the chase. Top 10 with that incident. An early accident has delayed the action in Fremont, but we are back to green flag racing in Fremont. Kyle Larson and Kasey Kahne on the front row. We are green once again. Kasey Kahne gets a good jump on the outside around Kyle Larson. Looks like the outside lane is the way to be for a restart in this race, as Truex is now hunting down Kyle Larson for second place. Martin Truex Jr. needs a good run today to get himself back into the chase. He's just 1 point out, and he's in as we speak. As the cars roll through turn 1 and 2. Kevin Harvick, your current points leader, about mid-pack. Oh, we got a car in the wall. It's Danica Patrick and Jimmy Alanya. Hard hit for Danica. Jimmie Johnson is now done in the race. He will not make the playoffs in Season 8. This is Danica Patrick. Looks like he just cuts a tire there and goes up into the outside wall hard and comes back down in front of Jimmie Johnson, Matt DiBenedetto, and Jimmy Alanya. Brian Scott somehow makes it through, surprisingly enough. So DiBenedetto, Alanya, Patrick, and Johnson all taken out in this crash. Kasey Kahne will grab the outside lane for the restart. Kasey Kahne saw how strong of an advantage that was to have the outside lane. He's going to take it this time. Kyle Larson has a bad restart. Here comes Truex from 3rd to 2nd. Behind Kasey Kahne, Kyle Larson slips back to 5th. Larson doesn't have too much to worry about. He's in the top 10. This guy's getting a strong finish here. But here comes Martin Truex Jr. looking to the inside of Kasey Kahne. Remember, Kasey Kahne is a win-and-in situation as well as McMurray and others. But here he comes. Truex makes the pass on him. He clears Kahne coming down the front stretch. Kasey Kahne knows the tail with Truex. He dives low. He gets into him. Truex hard into the inside wall. Kasey Kahne hit the outside wall as well. Martin Truex Jr. gets taken out by Kasey Kahne. The drama is rising once again in Fremont. Hard impact for Truex there. Watch as Kahne looks like he tried to pass Truex just like we saw Erik Jones try to pass Chase Elliott early on. Kahne has a lot of damage to that right side, but he will elect the outside lane. See if that stacks up the pack. Can Kahne get a good restart? He gets a decent loss. McMurray gets a better one. Oh, Kahne slips up the track. Here comes Kurt Busch. Trevor Bayne gets into him. Lots of action going on as McMurray jumps to the race lead. Jamie McMurray is a win-and-you're-in driver. Can he get it done today? Kurt Busch is trying to say no way to that. He looks to the inside of McMurray off of turn 2. They make contact. Kurt Busch goes through the sand pit, up into the field, hits Edwards and Kyle Larson. 2 laps remain. Here comes Austin Dillon. McMurray's lead is growing. Edwards is still catching him, though, somehow. I don't know how Carl Edwards is still catching McMurray, but now McMurray looks like to be stretching that lead. Edwards takes a charge at him. McMurray increasing that lead with 1 lap remaining here. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Oh, Kurt Busch is blown up into the outside wall. Race is over as the caution is out. Jamie McMurray is going to win this race under caution and make the playoffs. Kurt Busch's chase hopes are all done after that final 3 laps of craziness. Watch as McMurray tries to block Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch was there already. He goes through the sand pit. McMurray saves it. Kurt Busch saves it as well, but not before he got into Carl Edwards and Kyle Larson. So Kurt Busch got really loose there, up into Carl Edwards. And we're going to see, well, here's the, Kurt Busch had a lot of damage hitting with the impact there. He was dropping positions. Eventually the radiator gave out, and Kurt Busch blows up into the outside wall. He goes. So disappointing for Kurt Busch and his fans. But Jamie McMurray wins back-to-back races to get him into the chase. After winning Darlington, he comes to Fremont and wins the race as well. McMurray is going to the playoffs. Now we're going to check out the Season 8 playoff field. 12 drivers made this chase, 10 on points, 2 wild cards. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kenseth Jr., Logano, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Carl Edwards, Carter Edelman made his way in, and then the 2 wild cards were McMurray and Elliott. Top half in points. These are the contenders, the drivers that had the most points all season. Then the underdogs, Keselowski, Larson, Edwards, Edelman, and then your 2 wild cards. Austin Dillon missed the playoffs behind Carter Edelman just by 4 points. He was so close, had a good run today at it, but he will miss it. But Jay McMurray will be in the playoffs. Now you're going to check out the standings. Dale Jr. has the most wins. He gets 15 points to his playoffs. Kyle Larson had 2 wins, 10 points. Denny Hamlin, Kenseth Edwards all had 1 win each. Chase Elliott had a win, and McMurray had 2 wins, but they are not eligible to use those as they had to use the wild card. In exchange for the wild card, they had to give up their wins for points. Now the point standings after 17 races, Kevin Harvick had the most points. Denny Hamlin was 5 points behind him. Matt Kenseth, Dale Jr., Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Carl Edwards, and Carter Edelman round up the top 10. Your 2 wild cards, McMurray and Chase Elliott, they will be in the playoffs starting next week at Iowa. And then Austin Dillon, Martin Truex Jr., Trevor Bayne, Kasey Kahne, Kurt Busch, Jimmie Johnson, Bryce Harvey, and Ryan Blaney all gave it their best effort this season, but they will miss the playoffs just barely. Clint Bowyer, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chris Buescher had a good start to the year, but he's fallen off late. Erik Jones fell a lot of positions this weekend. AJ Allmendinger, Camden Luca has been having a good season for a part-time driver. He's in 32nd, above a full-time driver in Matt DiBenedetto and Danica Patrick. And then here's their 41st through 45th. Now for the finishing results, Jamie McMurray wins the race, and he will be in the playoffs once again. And then just another playoff contender right there, Carl Edwards. And then Austin Dillon just barely missed the playoffs. You got to feel for him. Trevor Bayne finished 4th today. He gave a good effort. He was another win-and-you're-in style driver. Kyle Busch pointed his way into the playoffs. Kasey Kahne came up short today. Got into Martin Truex Jr. Comes home 6th. Kyle Larson finished 8th. Ty Dillon with yet another top 10 finish for that young fella. And then Denny Hamlin gets another top 10. He's been Mr. Consistent all year. We'll see what he can do in the playoffs. Joey Logano was 11th. Carter Adelman finished 12th today. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 13th. And in 14th was Clint Bowyer. 15th today was Chris Buescher. A decent finish for the young man. 16th was Brad Keselowski. Finishing 17th in his first official Affleck Cup Series start was Dylan Malone. And then 18th, Kevin Harvick. 19th today was Eric Almirola. And then 20th was Bryce Harvey. 21st was Ryan Blaney. And then 22nd today was Ryan Newman. I also feel like Ryan Blaney finishes 21st pretty often. Coincidence? I don't think so. AJ Allmendinger, 24th. Logan McDaniel, 25th today. And then Paul Menard finishes 26th. And then 27th was Landon Castle. 28th was Brian Scott, who actually avoided an accident today. And he passed Cam DeLuca on the track, 29th. And then here's Kurt Busch, very heartbreaking. He finished 30th. Martin Truex Jr., another heartbreaker, just 1 point from making the playoffs. He will not. 32nd, Jimmy Johnson. 33rd was Danica Patrick. 34th was Matt DiBenedetto. And 35th was Jimmy Alanya. 36th today was Eric Jones. And then finishing dead last, once again, was Chase Elliott. But he will make the playoffs, just barely, thanks to a lot of things happening. So next race, we go to Iowa Speedway. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll start the playoffs in 2 weeks. This is JG24, James 26, signing out.